Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and boy is it an interesting day. I didn't really think that on the day of the Bitcoin ETF coming out that it would be like this surge straight up. I think it's going to be more of like a gradual move up over the next 6 months to a year. I think you're going to see Bitcoin like a roller coaster going up the hill. I think it's going to do that move. I think the altcoins will react the same way, and they may go up even more. You're seeing a little bit of a relaxation of some of the surge right now, but that's normal stuff. I want to make a point that has not been made in all this Bitcoin ETF stuff. I've told you many times before, iTrustCapital is one of my sponsors, but it's the best crypto decision I ever made, is opening an IRA at iTrustCapital for several reasons. First, because of the tax. I have about, I think it's 1.5 Bitcoin. I have those in my IRA on iTrustCapital, so I get the tax benefits. That's key. That's huge. That's the first thing. But here's the other thing: you get institutional grade custody. That what they intentionally have prevented retail from being in institutional custody. But iTrustCapital, because it's bound by laws regarding IRAs, they have access to institutional custody. Okay, so when you buy Bitcoin in iTrustCapital, they never touch it. It's an order that's routed, and that Bitcoin is immediately sent into institutional grade custody, which is all that these ETF companies, BlackRock, when they're putting you in Bitcoin, they're routing the orders to these companies that are going to make the purchase, and then they're going to send the Bitcoin into institutional custody. Well, that's what iTrustCapital does. But here's another thing people aren't thinking about. Let's say that at 5 o'clock after the market closed on a Friday, something horrible is announced for Bitcoin, and the price begins to tank. Did you know that in iTrustCapital, I could go in and I could sell my Bitcoin, but all those people that are in those Bitcoin ETFs, they will have to wait until the market opens on Monday morning to do anything. This is massive. It's a massive advantage for those in like an iTrustCapital. Now, by the way, in the description of this video, you can get $100 just for opening an iTrustCapital account. Best thing I ever did, hands down, in crypto, was to open an IRA with iTrustCapital. Hands down. And they are my sponsor, but I'd say it anyway, even if they weren't. Okay, check this out. Cowboy Crypto, who is the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, he points something important out. There's a good reason Circle partnered with Cross River Bank for automated settlements. What's Cross River Bank? And then goes on over here with Ripple. Cross River Bank will integrate the most advanced settlement infrastructure. Then we go down here, Brad comes. This is back in March 2023. Exactly what I've been saying for a long time. USDC is poised to become the new US digital dollar in the United States. Circle is actually like a mint, folks. And it's now going public. And it's now available on the Link2 platform, Link2, who is one of my sponsors. And if this is true, the U.S. isn't behind. They're light years ahead in front of our eyes. How about them apples? Now, here's the Grayscale CEO, Michael Sonnensen.
The last couple of hours have just been a complete blur. When we got that phone call yesterday that our 19B4 had been approved and our S3 had been deemed effective, it was almost an out-of-body experience.
You knew it was coming.
You know, I think we knew it was coming. We were optimistic. We were steadfast in our conviction around this. But this is really the culmination of 10 years of work. Investor support, the Grayscale team, everybody's been working tirelessly towards this outcome.
Okay, so what does this fundamentally mean, though, for Grayscale?
It means it's the beginning of having GBTC trade on the New York Stock Exchange, right? We've now have a whole family of investment products that have been following a very prescribed life cycle from private placement now all the way to ETF. GBTC is the first of those products to do that. And now the rest of the Grayscale family of products can start to move along that continuum as well.
Uh-oh. Then we got this. This is Cathie Wood. She's calling for a $600,000
had conversations
Bitcoin.
now over many years where you talk
Bull case, 1.5 million by 2030.
about Bitcoin being worth something on the order of $500,000, literally in only a couple of years from now. Do you stand by that? How does this ETF change that, speed that up, slow it down? What do you think?
Yes, so you'll find in our big ideas, so that's at arc-invest.com, the building blocks for our price forecast. And our base case is in the $600,000 range. Our bull case, and we think the probability of the bull case has increased with this SEC approval. This is a green light. Our bull case is $1.5 million by 2030. You can see the building blocks. You can see how conservative we are in terms of those building blocks. This is a big idea. It is the first global, decentralized, digital, rules-based, critical there, rules-based monetary system in history. It is a very big idea.
Okay, I know something that's a bigger idea. Check this out. BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF, it's officially live. Then BlackRock had put this out where they show the Bitcoin performance compared to major asset classes. You have to understand, this has been a marketing program, folks. They've been marketing Bitcoin. But I'm telling you, and you write it down that I said it here. These same guys who saw Bitcoin as these Wall Street guys that saw it, and make no mistake, it's been a Wall Street media government operation. These same guys, once they think that they have drained every bit of water out of this thing, every bit of money out of this thing, they're already, what they're doing right now is they're already planning the shift to what's the next play. And I will bet dimes to donuts that XRP is in the stack. And I'll bet it's going to be a lot bigger deal than freaking Bitcoin ever thought about being. Here's a BlackRock commercial today.
Digital asset adoption has significantly accelerated over the past
This is like a training video to kind of tell everybody about Bitcoin.
decade, with profound implications for the future of finance. Bitcoin is the original cryptocurrency to gain global adoption and has continued to maintain its dominance despite thousands of others coming into existence. You might have noticed Bitcoin make its way into our everyday lives, from Bitcoin ATMs to various merchants accepting Bitcoin as payment, further driving interest in what the future holds for the cryptocurrency. Investors have taken notice, as institutions and individual investors alike have been adopting Bitcoin into their investment portfolios, with some viewing it as a potential store of value and others as a potential game changer in how money moves around the world. But for many investors, holding Bitcoin directly can be complex. That's why we launched iBit, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, an ETF that provides investors convenient exposure to Bitcoin. Here are 3 things to know about iBit. Access. iBit enables investors to access Bitcoin within a traditional brokerage account, just like stocks, bonds, and other ETFs. Convenience. iBit.
All right, you get it. So check this out. Larry Fink and BlackRock won XRP, and they're coming for it. I'll leave it there. This guy says, I imagine Bitcoin outflows its gains towards XRP when XRP finalizes the SEC judgment in April. Oh, I didn't know they were thinking April, which coincides with the Bitcoin halving, as well as inflows of XRP ETP rollouts, which will include the derivatives market and institutional adoption, maybe even an IPO for hype. See, now we're talking. Total spot Bitcoin ETF volume surpasses 1 billion in just minutes after the market opened. Then we've got this. This is a Van Eck advertisement.
The world holds on to old ways until it can't. When Bitcoin was born, it broke that endless cycle. It's not a defiance of finance. Bitcoin may help guard against the government devaluing your money. Finally, You can buy and hold Bitcoin in an ETF with the VanEck Bitcoin Trust, HODL. Search the ticker HODL in your stock trading app today.
Okay, now look at this. These are Bitcoin Maxis. Elon Musk was added onto it or invited onto a Twitter Spaces and starts getting bombarded with all this Bitcoin stuff. This guy's known for a long time. It was never Bitcoin, folks. I'm telling you, Bitcoin is the perfect example. It's fool's gold. Bitcoin is the prototype. They're sending the herds over here. The stuff that's going to actually change the financial system, other than being some speculative investment, is not Bitcoin.
Elon, if you don't back the monetary units with work, something that actually takes energy, as opposed to keystrokes, I just don't know how you can build a better system that actually pegs fiat currency around the world without some type of proof of work mechanism.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't have some proof of work mechanism. I'm saying that, and look, I don't want to, I'm on this call because Cathie asked me to be on this call, not because I wish to argue about Bitcoin. And so
no, I still do think that this is an important.
If we get into Bitcoin, annoying Bitcoin arguments, I will sign off.
Elon, if you don't
he didn't want to get sucked into the BS. Now, the adults in the room are talking about things like this, folks. We've played it many times on this channel, but I want to bring all the children back to the adult conversation.
Imagine in the next 5 years, instead of us doing sterling against the dollar or sterling against yen and doing these kinds of transactions, we'll do sterling versus Ripple. And the reason being, dollar right now is a 2-day settlement. With something like Ripple, you could do settlement in seconds. And I think that there's a future there where the guy that's trading spot FX today will be trading spot FX against Ripple in the future, in the next 2 or 3 years. So I think that Ripple has a great future because it's right now supported by all the banks and by all the regulators.
And it has an elastic monetary base, right?
So well, if we take that and you go to the blockchain ledger, if you take that concept that you're discussing, I have no problem with it. I agree with it. But you're talking about money. You're talking about transaction, medium of exchange. There has to be something behind it, and that's where I'm going to pull this conversation back to gold. There has to be some sort of reserve asset. The problem with fiat currencies right now is that they can print as much as they want.
There you go. And then here's a little more adult in the room conversation. Look what we're lacking: a bridge.
No, I would agree because we haven't yet made the jump where there is institutional buy-in. And I like to use the example, if the Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo needs to transfer $100 million worth of yen to the New York branch and convert it to dollars, you need $100 million worth of yen in Tokyo and $100 million worth of dollars in New York. You're tying up $200 million in capital. If you can attach that to a coin, it's simultaneously so the bank frees up half the capital. That's a big deal. But we haven't made that jump yet.
Yeah, but it looks like it's coming, doesn't it?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. We've got an energy.
Oh yeah, it's coming all right. Now, make no mistake, folks. This is the year. Super Bowl commercials. Get ready for your Bitcoin ETF Super Bowl commercials. They're coming. We've been looking for it for years now. And I believe that this is the year it's coming. So strap in. Now, I'm not going to go over that out here. We don't talk about that stuff out here. Here's what I am going to show you in DAIXRP.com. Many of you may or may not know it, but you've been asleep for many, many years. In DAIXRP.com, I'm slowly starting to wake people up to what their world really is and what's really been going on. And much of this has to do with crypto, and I believe that we are, our world is going through a, whatever you want to call it, great awakening, and I think it all is tied to rolling over into a new system and the world reserve currency status. And I believe it's not a coincidence that there's so much craziness going. It's not a coincidence that you've been going through the same thing I've been going through, where you're looking at all this stuff going on and nothing makes sense anymore. It doesn't make sense anymore. So much doesn't make sense. When you watch the video in DAIXRP.com, I'm about to show you just this clip. things will start to make sense. It's an aha. And then I'll show you where to go to see even more of it. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Come to DAIXRP.com. Let's start making some of these things that don't make any sense make some sense. Here we go.